Well, yo, look at that. Funko Fundays is actually happening in 2025. What's up, guys? I'm DK Wrestler, and in today's video is a brand new edition of This Week in Collectible News, where we talk about the latest news as terms to the collectible world, whether Funko, Lego, or just basically any collectibles that I specifically want to talk about. And if you end up enjoying this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, but nonetheless, let's kick this video off. Ringside Collectibles had revealed some new figures during WrestleMania 41 weekend. Now, I know that these sets of announcements started on Thursday, and I could have featured them on last week's video, but I knew because it was going to be all weekend long that I might as well just discuss about this announcement during this specific video, which I'm not going to talk about every single figure that Ringside Collectibles had announced because there are a lot to go through. So I am going to go with one of the ones that kind of stood out to me the most. Like one of them being the Defining Moments Kurt Angle, where you actually have one of the head sculpts being him with the shaving cream on his head as he was getting his head shaved during Judgment Day 2002. A two-pack I really liked was the announcement of Cody Rhodes and his dog Pharaoh, which is actually the first articulated animal figure in the WWE lineup. And I think this is really wicked, especially for the fact that we do have Pharaoh as his own figure. And the last one I'm intrigued about is the first ever WWE Penta figure, which we have a concept figure at the moment, but what makes this very intriguing is that this will be the very first figure to have interchangeable mouths. The next Star Wars celebration will happen in 2027 in Los Angeles. Now, I thought I would mention this in case people were wondering about, oh, what could there be for Star Wars celebration pops for 2026? Well, there isn't going to be any because the next Star Wars celebration is 2027. Speaking of WWE, they had announced another exclusive pop being John Cena with his attire from WrestleMania 41. Now, of course, we all saw the teaser that was posted about this, and I think many people thought, oh, is this spoiling that he's going to win his 17th world title? While I kind of figured that it was going to be him holding one of his towels. We got ourselves a new set of NBA pops with two different Shaq pops and a Michael Jordan. Now, of course, we have seen Michael Jordan pops many a times, but there are two new Shaq pops, with one of them being the iconic moment of Shaq breaking the backboard. We got ourselves a wave of Dragon Ball Funko Pops. Now, I know that these pops were teased during New York Toy Fair this past year. It's not too often anymore that we actually get pop towns for Funko Pops. We got ourselves a Target exclusive Mandalorian with Grogu for the Star Wars Samurai lineup. Why wasn't this announced last week when the other Samurai pops were announced? I just felt like they should just announce all of them at the same time. And Entertainment Earth addresses the new pricing due to tariffs. Well, no shit, Sherlock. We kind of figured that this was going to be the scenario. You should just announce it then, but I don't know, do I say it's better late than never to address this situation? Funko Fundays is happening in June of 2025 at Funko Hollywood. Yeah, so it shocked a lot of us that Funko Fundays is actually happening this year after hearing reports that Funko Fundays was basically never happening again. But they even posted an article on the blog explaining that it's going to be happening near the end of June instead of the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con, taking place inside of Funko Hollywood instead of a different venue. Which honestly, for Funko right now, who isn't entirely doing good as terms of their stock, I think the safe route is to do it at a facility that they own, like Funko Hollywood, instead of renting out a venue that's going to cost hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, plus the pricing it probably costs to get like insurance on top of that in case something were to happen. We got ourselves a Target exclusive Tyrannosaurus Rex Pop Deluxe. This is okay. This kind of reminds me more of a bigger version of the Tyrannosaurus NFT pop that we already got a couple of years ago, but now it's just adding that gate to it. I don't know how I really feel about this. Funko Europe will also be getting the new limited edition pieces with the list of participating retailers. Now, I don't know whether this is honestly a good thing or a bad thing. Super 7 had announced a glow-in-the-dark Godzilla Fun figure. I don't really know too much about Super 7 for that matter, but I do think that these figures look pretty decent, especially this Godzilla Godzilla. Funko had officially announced the first set of King of the Hill Pops. And of course, this is something that a lot of people have been wanting for years, and especially because King of the Hill is having a revival very soon, that it makes sense that now is the time to make Pops. We got ourselves a wave of Pops for the anime Spy X family. Now, of course, I don't know too much about this because it is anime and I don't really watch anime all that much, but I know that this has kind of created quite a bit of controversy because not only do we continue the trend of the shared retailer QR code sticker, but now this is the first sighting of having the Chase sticker now as a part of the box instead of actually a sticker. And I don't know, I kind of see the bad obviously, but also the good in this, especially because it doesn't take so much space on the box window. Handmade by Robots had made some My Hero Academia figures with Izuku Midoriya and Shoto Todoroki. Yes, I pretty much pronounced those names correctly because I have seen 4 seasons of My Hero Academia, so I am a little familiar with the series. But it is pretty cool, I guess, that they are making figures for My Hero Academia. I actually do have one Handmade by Robots in my collection, which is Buzz Lightyear from Toy Story, but I don't plan on getting any more because it's so difficult for me to collect nowadays, even before the whole tariff situation has happened. Kid Robot had announced an exclusive glow-in-the-dark Blinky in Fishbowl from The Simpsons. I thought this was pretty decent because this is a character that I guess isn't really shown that much and doesn't really have that much merchandise, so I guess it's cool that Kid Robot is jumping on the wagon of doing merchandise for this specific character. Thrilljoy have announced a lifetime front-of-the-line pass, which is only eligible for those that spend $10,000. Who in the absolute is spending $10,000 on Thrilljoy's website? I don't even think anyone is even willing to spend $10,000 all at once when it comes to Funko Pops, let alone a more higher end collectible figure like Thrilljoy and their Pix or Pixels or whatever the they're calling it now. LEGO have announced a Mecha Team Leader set from Fortnite, and this is pretty cool. I'm actually excited about the whole Fortnite set of Legos where they've done the Battle Bus. I believe they've done a Peely Bone set already, and seeing this is pretty cool also, and I don't plan on getting this, but this is one of the highlights of this week in my opinion. U2s have announced Linkin Park Lush. Now this is pretty cool because we have not seen, even in the world of Funko, any band members get any sort of merchandise, so U2's kind of pulling the trigger on actually at least doing plushes of the current band members at the moment. Maybe there will be actual U2's figures of the band members very soon. Super 7 have announced an 8% surcharge on non-apparel items. Once again, just like Entertainment Earth, Super 7 have announced price increases due to tariffs, which is going to make collecting very hard, especially in 2025, or at least as long as Donald Trump is the president of the United States. And last but not least, before we do our top 5 list for this video, we have ourselves a Toji Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen. That's a Funko Shop exclusive. Of course, I know I butchered that name because, like I mentioned, I don't really watch anime all that much. Today, I wanted to give a shout out to Sentinel 107. And the reason I'm giving them a shout out is because they signed up for our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Which not only do you get a shout out on every single video, but you also get a bunch of other perks like using custom emojis in the comments, and more importantly, early access to every videos and shorts that we do on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It'll be greatly appreciated and will help out this channel tremendously, especially because of how expensive these videos can be to do for you guys. So definitely consider, but nonetheless, let's continue on with this video. So coming in at number 5 on my list, it is Oolong from Dragon Ball. Now, I don't know about this character at all, but I thought the design looked pretty cool, especially with the pig nose on the face. Coming in at number 4 on my list is the Fanatics exclusive John Cena for the WWE lineup. Of course, me being DK Wrestler, and I've said this so many times that I usually put a WWE pop at the list, but because we've had so many John Cena pops, especially as of late with his retirement tour, that it's just kind of getting stale of seeing yet another John Cena pop. Coming in at number 3 on my list is is the Master Roshi with Kame House Pop Town from Dragon Ball. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it's actually pretty cool to see the resurgence of Pop Towns since we haven't really gotten them as of late. And I think this is really cool, not only because of the town, but for the Roshi figure himself, where he's basically on top of what looks to be a turtle, which is pretty cool because it gives it more of a deluxe feeling instead of just a 4-inch pop. Coming in at number 2 on my list is the Shaq with Backboard Pop Deluxe for the NBA lineup. Normally, I don't put NBA pops on this list considering that they're very basic and a lot of them are the exact same posing, but they've actually taken a moment with the Shaquille O'Neal and make it very unique compared to a lot of those NBA pops. And coming in at number 1 on my list is Hank Hill from King of the Hill. Yeah, I knew for a fact that King of the Hill had to be on this list at number 1. It was just what I was going to pick. I thought about putting the 4-pack on this list considering you can just get the 4 main characters out of the way, but I think it's the nitpick of the fact that the pops are actually out of order of what it shows on the box, which is a little annoying, especially if you have a little OCD. And I really wanted to put the Pop Rides on here, but in my opinion, it has the same problem as the Elmo on Trike, where it's so much space in the box that you're literally paying for cardboard and insert. So I felt like the safe bet was for me just to do the 1 Hank Hill pop, considering that if you are going to get 1 pop from this set, it's probably going to be Hank himself.